Welcome to Film Bluffs, a place for free-range, non-GMO, dog water opinions. So come on in, take a seat, and let's make fun of the kid with no internet. Welcome back to Film Bluffs! I'm your host, Jobe!
I'm Trace, and once again, not privy to the bit.
And I'm Marshall, and I don't think we picked up the scream.
Probably
so
not.
It's alright, Joe.
We'll do it again. We'll do it, okay.
I'll do a super deep one.
Yeah, do it like a... Oh! It'll be quieter anyway. It probably cut it out a little bit, but... it's okay. Marshall will just edit in this. Frank,
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but hey, that's
it.
whatever. So welcome back, Jabrona Cross, to another week of Film Bluffs, where we are the most intellectually powerful people that review movies that have our names.
That dog took advantage of me.
Anyways, this
had her way.
We had a Trace pick of Timeline. I've never seen this movie, and
You didn't watch it?
I saw it this morning afternoon, but I've never seen it before this. I've never heard of it. The movie, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, hey, it's 10:30 on a Friday. You're home, maybe just chilling. You're like 7, 8, 12 years old, hanging out with your dad, and your dad's like just flipping through the channels, and he's like, "Oh, this looks good," and puts it on. It's kind of like that feel of movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry, it was a little distracting over here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
it's
like a movie you would see on Channel 19 during a sick day.
Like
Channel 19 was the channel that played movies.
Wherever
you
you're
don't
from.
find it like at a theater or something. You'll just see it in like a Walmart $5 bin or something. And you're like, oh, time.
Oh, dude,
it's got Paul Walker. It's got Paul Walker in it, dude.
He's got a tattoo of the skyline from the first Fast and Furious. He's like, dude, Paul Walker.
Yeah, and then you see some big Scottish guy like lumbering down the way. He's just like, timeline. I can't do a Scottish accent. Someone do a
timeline.
Say timeline.
You know I'm fucking there.
And it's so good all the time.
Oh, let's take a moment to shout out. Actually, Marshall, censor this for me. Shout out this community theater and always having shows with Scottish accents, and therein nobody doing a good one.
And always shitty.
Not to say I could do a good one. I just don't go for the fucking role.
It's better than some people's who shall remain nameless.
Anywho,
Yeah,
Timeline. I thought it was fun. I thought it was enjoyable. Would I like go out of my way and be like, yo, you guys need to watch Timeline? I don't think so.
Probably not.
I've seen it once in my whole life, was probably fine. Maybe if I'm like going to sleep and my kid's all like, yo, Dad, I want to watch something, and just fucking Timeline. And then
it takes
but it's not even the same.
It takes you back to that day where you watched it with your dad because he was on the couch falling asleep, and you're like, ah.
It's not the same because you don't because when I was growing up, my dad would just like record a bunch of random movies on our DVR, or you would just flip the channels, But now it's like you don't record shit, or you don't flip the channel. You just go find what you want to watch. So it'd be very hard to come across this movie naturally unless you're like a diehard timeliner, or you're just like, go give me random movie and it pulls up Timeline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, was this a popular movie?
Not that I'm aware of. I honestly didn't even know about it until my dad and I were talking about something at one point, like a month or two ago, and he's just like, yeah, it's kind of like Timeline. And I'm like linear, and he's like, no, like the movie. And I'm like, there's a movie called Timeline? He's like, oh yeah, it's got Gerard Butler in it. And he just like went on this whole spiel about
Yeah, I can see your dad sitting there 3 feet tall saying, Trace, you must watch Timeline. Yeah.
Hey, son, happy. And then
my son!
I lift him up to my face and he's like, you must watch Timeline or you shall be disowned. And then I just set him back down on his massive recliner.
He has a comically large recliner. He sits on the lumbar support.
Trace's dad looks like just a taller version of the Keebler elf.
Yeah.
But slightly taller and not cartoony. But Trace, tell us what Timeline was, what its deal is.
What? You didn't ask me my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I didn't want your... I'm just kidding. Jobe, what's your opinion?
Alright, well, first of all, I sent a funny picture in the group chat.
Interesting take on Timeline.
Second of all, Merriam-Webster defines timeline as an arrangement or occurrence as of past events in time.
I hate you.
All right.
The fact that you're like, no, let me tell. Merriam-Webster describes it as...
Dude, you think this is entertaining to our audience? You just repeating everything I say?
What timeline means to me by someone else. So Webster is...
Marshall shut down. I think I've really pissed him off this time.
Aw, look at his little smile. He's having such a good time.
He's so bashful.
Aw, he's such a little guy. Alright, let's breeze through this so we can start doing this stupid shit. Alrighty, so yeah, kind of like that. Good example of what we'll do fucking later.
I shouldn't listen to this.
Alright, so our story follows a group of archaeologists who are trying to uncover the full history of Castleguard, which is a castle around La Roque, France.
Oh, deadass?
Yeah.
Deadass, the castle is... Castleguard's a castle?
What does it do?
So
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. It took like 2 seconds of that was me processing what you said to me. Alrighty. Anyway, the son of the professor of this group, Chris, is going to visit his father for like the 4th time in his life, it seems. While Chris is trying to flirt with his father's protege, Kate, we find out that Chris hates history because it's the reason his parents were divorced. Or so he says. Chris and our really cool archaeologist, Merrick, are examining a sarcophagus with an unusual design on it as they're holding hands, and nobody held hands back in the day. The figure on one of the figures on it had a missing ear, and Merrick kind of tricks him into admitting that he's intrigued by history. Shortly thereafter, there's a cave-in where Kate was previously digging, and during their investigation of the cave-in, they find the professor's handwriting from 600 years ago and a little glasses lens. And everything carbon dated to go, yeah, he did this 600 years ago. And while they're arguing about how fucking stupid this prank is because it's clearly not real, they get in touch with the company that has been funding their dig for all this time. Then we kind of do like a little Batman's and we end up at the scientist's lab where they're explaining that faxes, how you used to put some paper in one thing and then it would send it to another place. Well, we're going to do that with 3D objects, like an apple or something, but then they made it bigger so that people could go from one continent to another continent. Unfortunately, in doing this, they only discovered a wormhole that was incredibly unstable and sends whatever they send through this machine to 1357 France. For some reason. They don't explain why it's locked there, but it's locked in that one specific location, the place that they've been digging. The group is given these little markers to help tell them how much time they have to get in, grab the professor, and come back. The company sends a few of the ex-Marines with them to aid in their mission, as well as an additional objective for the company. Merrick promises to look after their very, very good French friend, Francois. And after some wacky shenanigans in the past, Merrick meets a young French girl we come to learn is Lady Claire, one of the figures on the sarcophagus with the guy with the missing ear, and everyone is eventually captured by English forces, as this is kind of in the middle of the 100-year war. They hear Francois speak, and they recognize the French accent, and the English Lord Oliver kills him because he is French, therefore evil. The professor, they find the professor who promises Oliver Greek fire in order to spare his life, and as he's kind of doing this, the whole group escapes. But Merrick goes, guys, I gotta go find Lady Claire, or whoever this bitch is, and save her because I think she's cute. He gets her in a boat. They start swimming down the stream after they get free from this village that she lives in. He goes, what's your name? And she goes, what's your name? And he goes, I'm Merrick. And then she goes, interesting. My name is... And then they find a bunch of French forces, and he doesn't get to learn her name. And then eventually he learns her name is Lady Claire, and he goes, wow, that's a pretty... What? Oh no! As she is supposed to die so that the French can rally behind her as a martyr. However, she was instead saved, and he has altered the course of history. As Merrick goes back, he reunites her with the French forces and her brother Armando, or for whatever his name was, I can't remember. And he goes, I gotta go save my friends. In thanks for saving your sister, can I have a horse and a sword? And they're like, yeah, go for it. So he takes off to look for his friends. He finds the professor, and he's all like, yeah, my son and Kate died trying to escape the English bastards. And he's like, that's terrible. We don't have our markers anymore, and we can't get back to the future. You know, like movie Back to the Future.
Like Back to the Future?
With Marty McFly. And what? Eventually they kind of go through all some more wacky shenanigans. Merrick's helping him make this Greek fire, and Kate and Chris are sneaking into the castle so they can get out of there, while the French are kind of throwing all their trebuchet stuff at the castle walls. The English and the French are shouting at one another, and we find Merrick fighting another time traveler from a previous mission. He's like another ex-Marine who got left there, and he's really pissed off about it, but now he's had this life here. It's whatever. So they're fighting, and this guy cuts down and slices off a piece of Merrick's ear, and Merrick goes, ow, fuck, that hurts. And he goes, wait a minute. I'm Sarcophagus Boy. So he fights the guy with this newfound inner strength to save the woman he loves, Lady Claire, so that he can be the guy in the sarcophagus and the one who kisses her all day long. He kills this guy, and Chris runs up to him and goes, hey, that guy has our markers. And he goes, here you go, throws it, and he goes, but what about you? And he's like, I'm staying. And he goes, no problem with me. And he runs off, finds Kate and his dad, and then they push the little button. They go back to the future, and then they swap with the lead scientist in the future, who has been a huge piece of shit this entire time, and immediately gets killed by the English forces. But he's in modern day clothing, so that probably alters the timeline a little bit.
They learn about nylon.
Yeah. And then the end of it, they go and uncover the rest of the sarcophagus, and they find out, this is Lord Merrick or whatever with his Lady Claire, and he has it written down about how much he loves his friends who are still alive, and hey, by the way, I named all of my children after all of you. Live happy lives, etc., etc. Chris and Kate kiss, and the dad watches.
So, yeah, thank you, Trace. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. There's a couple things that when I watch this, I go, huh? Mm-hmm. It's like, there's not really... They say in the movie that they're not supposed to bring, like, modern weaponry through the... But then one guy does anyways, and it creates zero problems until he uses the modern weaponry, but that's not, like... It doesn't, like, blow up it does blow up. It's a grenade. But it's not like it breaks everything. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get you. Because there is an instance they go, hey, don't bring anything modern back. We're going to dress you in clothes from the period so that nobody freaks the fuck out. They even take Francois's glasses off. And then they go, hey, you guys who have done these missions before, don't bring anything back. That's our company policy. And he goes, right, no problem. And then he kind of puts a grenade in. He gets shot. Comes back, drops the grenade as he comes back to the future, and blows up the machine that they're fixing in the future.
Yeah, but
it's a whole...
They say, like... if you bring modern weaponry through, it doesn't work. But like it doesn't allow it, I think is what they say specifically. But he ends up bringing a grenade through and back.
I don't think it's necessary that it won't allow it, because technically their clothes is still kind of modern, because we probably don't have because we probably don't have the same style of putting those clothes together, like how they would stitch it or how they would seam it together, so it's technically modern. I think it's just one of those things of like, if you hand a bunch of cavemen a cell phone, it's not going to work because, no towers, but they're going to start freaking the fuck out and go, this is magical.
No.
I mean, but they still could have brought, like, a gun, unless they're trying to say, because I know one thing is, like, when you fax a 3D object, is like everything that's displaced, and they mention that, and they talk about, like, if you go through too many times, your lungs and shit, like, all your organs get messed up. Fucked. I wonder if they're trying to say, like, oh yeah, if you send a gun in, it's gonna like not work because like the components are all messed up. But then I feel like you'd have to go through multiple times.
See, that is the part that would make probably the most amount of sense for it, because the way that they describe it is, they start getting altered because they're tearing your whole body into electrons and then reformatting them in the best way the machine knows how to reformat you. So I would assume, after a few times, it would probably mess with, like, if you bring a gun, it would mess with like the firing pin or the something in the mechanism to like alter it so it either wouldn't work anymore or it would just like misfire.
Ooh. It would turn into bullets.
But they bring back the markers, the little medallions.
I assume
like
that's
several times.
I assume that's a one-time thing for each, and then they reset, and then they like make new ones or something.
No.
And you gotta think of it like Assassin's Creed. Anything like a gun is gonna break synchronicity.
But it doesn't even matter because we see at the beginning that Merrick is already there. Like, it's not like a whole, like, oh, we're doing this for the first time. We see at the beginning that Merrick already went through. Gerald Butler is in fucking Scotland.
Who's Merrick?
Well, Merrick is Gerard Butler.
Oh.
To be fair, his name's Andre Merrick, but everybody just calls him Merrick because it's cooler than Andre. Sorry,
he's like, this guy's got one ear,
and he's then sexy and stuff.
Well, I want to say also for archaeologists who supposedly know so much about this area, I feel like they know jack shit because they got their history completely wrong.
Well, I feel like that's the crutch of, because their whole thing is, you would think there's a rescue mission. Why the fuck are we sending a bunch of archaeologists? Their thought process is, you guys have studied this, so you know the most about this, and it's like, great. The problem with archaeology is you see something and then make a bunch of assumptions about what that was back in the day, and then find out if you could ever go back in time, you're completely wrong about it.
Not me.
But Jobe is one of the few archaeologists who goes back in time frequently and goes, I was right. Yep. Every single time.
Every time I go back, I'm like, I knew it. Dinosaurs had razor scooters.
I watched a T-Rex smack his ankle.
That's how they all died.
Imagine a dinosaur doing a front flip with a razor scooter and a fucking
cool.
crater.
What dinosaur do you think would get like the most clout from doing a flip?
Probably Dilophosaurus.
That doesn't sound real.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the one.
That's the one with the crest on its head, ain't it?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking maybe one of the because the long neck ones aren't actually brontosauruses. They're like I think
Brachiosaurus is like a genus, but Brontosaurus is.
I really wish we didn't just name shit and then go, it's not real, but we're gonna keep using the name.
I want to say a fleet of Velociraptor. If you see a Velociraptor do a kickflip, it'd be like a sick ass kickflip.
I think Dodo.
Now, in your head, does the Velociraptor have feathers?
No,
not a lot.
I like my dinosaurs like movies.
Slimy,
nice and scaly. But
slimy.
Back to the topic at hand. I'm sitting there trying to figure this shit out. All right, so they're archaeologists and they're like, okay, France. Like, did they say France like won the the battle.
Yes.
They say because of Lady Claire dying, it rallied everybody, and then whatever. But they see a fucking monument at the beginning with Lady Claire and Jimbo, Bimbo, Gerald Butler on it, and they're just like, oh yeah, this is whatever. This is nothing. I feel like they got their history completely wrong of what happened.
Okay, that part doesn't hurt the story too much because it's like, it's not like a picture where they would have to take a picture and that's what the sarcophagus would be. They could chisel whatever, and it could be a fucking dog next to Lady Claire, and then, some random cat could be in there, but they're gonna go, oh yeah, like, a dog's in there, but we're not gonna open it because it would destroy history or something. So like, it still stood to reason that like she died and they put her in a sarcophagus with whoever her lover would have been, and they could have died at completely separate times. They could have, she could have died. They could have recovered the body and done it. The sarcophagus doesn't really lead to anything of how.
But I mean, you can just get it from history, Like I feel like history would have told you, hey, she died. Hey, she didn't die. If she was prominent, like this prominent person, like she is.
I think.
The thing with history in general is that we just got to take what we find written, and we got to take their word for it, basically.
And that's
like we have clues on what we can figure out. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Genghis Khan probably was a real person, but we're just taking everyone's word for it.
It's hard
to... Wait, did we ever find a skeleton that we were like,
I've
DNA
never
test 100% that bitch?
I haven't personally. I'll look into it later. I'll get my people on it.
I found in my backyard.
Oh shit! He got far.
Fair bit.
We're on a first name basis, me and Genghis.
You uncovered the skeleton and you went, Marshall! Hey! You found me! It's been a long game of hide and seek, you bastard.
Yeah.
I think the issue with it is that it's hard to really solidify what's going on in the timeline here. Because none of these events really happened. There was a Lady Claire, but it's not this Lady Claire. It's like the daughter of Joan of Arc or something, and then her brother in this.
Wait, are you trying to say exists. Like in real history?
Yes, yeah, like in our history. So like some of these figures existed,
I don't care
and
about
like
our history. I care about the fake movie.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have anything substantial to go.
I don't care about us.
I'm trying to relate it to the movie. If you would let me.
I'm not.
Then okay, I guess we're done.
Shut up. We're going to Jobe.
All right, Jobe, you talk about
Jobe had a point.
Yeah,
no, we're talking about the movie.
Clearly we're not, because I'm not allowed to.
No, we're talking about real life.
Yeah, in relation to the fucking movie. But then every time I tried to, it was, nope, we can't prove a point.
Who invented chocolate milk?
Jobe,
who gives a shit?
Jobe, we're going to put a pin in your thought. We're going to go back to Trace, because I want to hear him say...
No, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Put a pin in that.
It's Jobe's turn now.
Okay,
Jobe can talk.
Alright, we're putting a pin in that. We're going back to the pin for Jobe. We're going to take it out and say, Jobe, what did you want to talk about?
I honestly feel kind of bad.
Why?
So, Oxford's Advanced Learner Dictionary defines timeline as a horizontal line that is used to represent time, with the past towards the left and the future towards the right.
Hey, we're going to put a pin in that, Joe. We're going to go back to Marshall over here.
Yeah, it's a horizontal line.
Yeah. We put a pin in it. We pinned it, guys. Guys, we pinned it.
No, I ignored that part.
No, it's pinned. Paul Walker, Gerald Butler, Michael Sheen, Bill Connolly. The one guy who doesn't kiss anyone but his wife on screen. What do we think, guys? What's the actor's score here?
I think the acting is fine. Paul Walker's is kind of weak, but
he didn't even.
I don't know. I feel like Paul Walker and the girl relationship happened quick, but also I mean, she said she had feelings for him, and he said he had feelings for her, but she's like, no, you're the professor's son, the boss's son. Taboo. I can't.
I thought.
And then, like, one day later,
I thought they were siblings.
What? You thought they were siblings? No, did you watch the movie?
I was making dinner at the time. They had big siblings.
The professor goes, "You only meet with me every like 3 weeks, 2 times a year, or something like that, and it's just to try to bang my assistant." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right, Dad."
Yeah, he says that, and then she's like, "Don't worry, we'll find Dad."
And she goes, "Don't worry, I'm your sister.
I'll fuck you anytime."
We're not in.
I like how Billy Connolly has like the thickest Scottish accent ever.
That was Jimmy.
Yeah. What? No, it's Billy. And then Paul Walker rounds the corner and he sounds no Scottish.
No, that's I do have a problem with that.
I guess.
It's real, like,
Bilford Connolly is just like, oh, I fucking love learning about history.
Yeah, sure thing, Dad.
Yo, Dad!
Hey, yo, Dad! What's
Dad! I just put in a turbo on my Supra.
I'm gonna crash this car today. And then he died.
I'm gonna crash this car in 13 years.
I feel like Chris was born, his parents immediately got divorced, and she took him. And went, you're gonna be free of all this Scottish heritage.
I would have liked to see, I don't know, maybe a cut where it like Merrick and Chris are like switched. So like the son, but you have it like the son who doesn't want to be part of archaeology finds his true calling in France, you know, as like part of the world or whatever. Or the archaeologist is just like
world.
He's just like hanging around trying to bang someone. He's just like a cool side character. Because to me, it was presented that Chris is like the main character, kind of. But Gerald Butler was the coolest, and most impactful to the story.
In the movie, Chris is the main character, but in this not history, Merrick is the main character for sure.
Yeah. Yes, Jobe.
Dewey Decimal System's dictionary defines time.
If he does that,
I don't know if he has any other.
Inviting him to my birthday.
I don't know how many more options he has. How many dictionaries are out there?
Oh, I haven't even gotten into the Spanish-English dictionaries.
Ooh. Get a thesaurus.
No. What I was gonna say was this movie made me think of a lot. The final battle in particular felt a lot like Army of Darkness.
That's true. I can get behind that.
Like in 1400s Grand Rapids, Michigan.
True.
I haven't seen Army of Darkness.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot like that, though.
Except
no futuristic technology.
Wait, hold on. I know how to solve this.
No. I know what you're doing. Don't do it.
Oh, are you just gonna...
This is gonna take me a sec. You guys go on.
It's towards the beginning.
I hate you. Anyways, so this movie, huh? Crazy.
Okay, so here, just a quick recap on Army of Darkness. It's loading.
No, God, I hate this fucking white kid.
A chainsaw and a shotgun. So, but then not...
Well, he lost both.
Not Merlin grabbed that. But then, he's looking down the pit, he's like, oh, well, we haven't given anybody else weapons, but he can have his, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then, Marshall, we're going to do a fade out here, and then we're going to do a fade in here.
No, I think we're okay.
Thanks for listening to yet another episode of Scared by...
Alright, and that's basically everything you need to know about Army of Darkness.
Actually, I think what a funnier bit is going to be is if we kind of fade out as you're going, wait, I know what will help, and then we just post the entire episode of Army of Darkness from Scare by Scare, and then fade in, and this just is our longest episode yet.
That's... 2 for the price of 1. Aren't you so lucky,
you don't even have to go back and watch Army of Darkness, but please do.
You know what? I'm going to make this just a little bit longer, because I watched another movie this week. It's called Brothers. It stars Peter Dinklage and
No, we need to talk about timeline
lore.
Are
we doing that again?
No, we're talking about timeline. Damn it! I watched this movie, and now we have to talk about it. It's the rules. It's the way of the land.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Let's
right?
talk about it then.
Let's talk about it.
Marshall's just jealous.
Well, how, guys? The Claire, she spoke French for most of the movie, and then out of nowhere, English. That's kind of weird, huh?
I mean, I feel like that's just kind of more of a that's her, mother tongue, and then she could speak.
Yeah, no. I ran through this simulation in my head because I knew as soon as I said this, you were gonna say that, and then I'm gonna respond with, yeah, but when she was in the little fucking like dugout with Scottish boy, and she was speaking French, and he was saying English words. Why didn't she speak to him in English instead of continuing to speak in French? Kind of seems like a dick move. You know what I'm saying?
You got it all twisted up wrong. It's like Time Splitter's toe. The longer you spend in the time period, the more acclimated you become.
What's the bird's name? From Aladdin?
Iago?
Yeah, Iago.
Oh, Iago. The Gilbert Gottfried voice.
Yep.
And another thing, they say that they sent this fucking camera off to New York, and then they get it back in like 6 hours, right? But like they make other things. It's like, no, you have to come back within this time. But obviously, you can just stay there. You don't like get sucked back immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you only have 6 seconds there, but it's like, what is 6 seconds if I can travel time?
So that I think,
because they're like,
that I think is more
like,
of an issue of like this isn't actual like perfected time travel. I think the wormhole in this, they're trying and not doing a great job at portraying it as present day and 1357 France are moving at the same rate with this wormhole. So it's technically going in real time for them, and they technically couldn't jump back to that point because it's already passed on that. That part they don't do a whole lot of explaining why that is, but that's kind of the closest I could get to understanding that, because I had the same problem when thinking about that.
well, because they're like, we sent this camera off, and then it hung out, and then it came back. Couldn't you just wait for the fucking professor to come back? But I guess because he's not a camera, then he won't come back.
I'm not sure why they... It made it seem like on the camera they had like a timer set, and then it just like came back, but they can't do that with people for some reason.
Because the first time they said it came back on its own, right? Because they fucking sent something, and then it's like, oh shit, it came back, and then they're like, whoa, put the camera up, fuckface. Oh, did I go? And they're all sitting there, and fucking Professor Lupin's over there, just like, no, kill the white guy.
This has one of those issues of time travel where when writing this, they know that they're in present day, but they want the archaeologists to go back in time to the place that they're currently digging at because they think that's cool, but they don't actually think about any of the time travel part of it. They just go back in time. How? A machine. So they're back. So they're here in 1357, right? And now, the English are mad. And that's as far as they get.
If I was them reflecting on this, I would have said like the professor fell through like a naturally occurring wormhole or something, and it's lucky he managed to make it there because it like naturally occurring wormholes fuck it up. But they have the one where they can like contain it or like make a man-made wormhole, but they can only keep it open for 6 hours. Right, and that would have let them go back in time. It would have made sense for why the professor's stuck there because the naturally occurring one disappeared or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they try to get super technical on the timeline.
Oh.
The time travel deal, but then by going super technical and not like actually explaining everything, just like hand waving it, they made me ask all these questions. What?
Child abuse.
Oh. Did you have something? So anyway, they do get like really hard on the like.
They get what?
Hard on like the whole they split up your electron into these things and they tear you apart and they get really scientific about that part and they really want you to focus on it for some reason. But then there's no explanation as to the actual science behind the time travel. It just kind of is expected that you go, fuck it.
Well, speaking of fucking it, Capri Sun break time.
What a segue.
I'm
alright, Capri Sun break time.
See you in a minute. The best time to do a really stupid bit is when my dog is in the room and is going to try to participate.
Welcome back. I want to go on record and say I love my friends that I get to hang out with, you guys, and I apologize if I'm mean to you, but sometimes you're really fucking stupid.
Marshall was that was a court-ordered apology.
I was not going to mention anything about it, because I didn't fucking do anything wrong. But Marshall did get yelled at by his wife.
Yeah, I did. And I'll do it again. Timeline.
Yeah.
Crazy. They just kill people.
That's all you talk about.
Gerald Butler kills someone for the first time, and he's all
it's Gerard.
I like Gerald.
It is Gerard. Yes.
Marshall said Gerald enough that I was like, it's Gerard! Wait, but he said Gerald a bunch, though.
The conviction of, it's Gerard! It's Gerard.
Me on
I just want to double down and check. What is Gerard?
He killed a guy?
What are frogs?
Yeah, his first guy stabbed, and then he was all like, conniption time, because killing people is awkward, and then had no issue killing anybody after that.
Well,
also, that one guy, they all three of them jump after.
That's funny.
That was fucking funny. They're all just kicking at him.
Yeah, it was big part 5 energy.
That was a lot of GTA 5 fighting. Just
GTA 6 has better fighting mechanics.
No, I wanted to say this.
I want GTA 6. I
also like
to
the
really
idea
express myself when me and my friends beat up somebody.
I like that one escape plan was, no, it's okay, this guy's coming through the door, but we'll break through the concrete door or whatever it is before this guy chops down the door and escapes.
Well, it wasn't concrete. It's fucking mud and pig shit and whatever else English people eat.
It's rebar.
They didn't have rebar then.
It's like a less hardened clay.
It's made of cigarette butts and milkshakes.
All the things that they kept sending back trying to figure out the space.
They just kept smoking and then putting out their butt in a wormhole.
What is this? Fuck, put it in the wall.
Okay, I gotta figure this out. Someone help me here.
Okay.
Wait, please, wait. Let's say, hypothetically, right? We have a chimp that we trained to smoke cigarettes, right? We send this chimp...
Can he produce Shakespeare?
No. I mean, yes.
Eventually.
But we send him back in time to the 100 Years War. A, who does he side with? And B, how long does he last?
I don't think either one of them... No one would keep him alive. That he would be food.
See, the English, they come across and then they'd see him just... and they'd be like, a gift from our lord.
One apathetic soda goes, alright, come on up here.
The French would fuck him and eat him.
No, the French would see him smoking the ciggies and be like, he's one of us, and he's just a little hairier and doesn't speak French.
No, they go, and they're like, oui, just so me.
Oh, that's French.
It's a weird dialect you got here, but fuck it, we can ball.
He must be from the southern Bordeaux.
love how the French like Commander Arnold, he like sees this white guy for the first time. He's like, "You're Englishman. You're a spy." He's like, "No, I'm Scottish." Then I don't know how to thank you. He's like, all right, yeah. Later on, when he sees Paul Walker and the woman, he's like, wait, you're English, you bastards!
Wait, you're not Scottish, are you?
He's like, the hole opens up, and he's like, all right, we're cool now, my bad.
All right,
you seem to flip flop a lot for like a guy, but
all right. So, but I do want to just go back to this chimp though. Because now all I can think about is like a year later, the chimp is just sitting there like dressed all regally, and they're like, "What do we do now?" And they're like, "Oh yes, we'll go fight on the front lines, my lord." And then they all just fucking run out, and the chimp's just sitting there, and he pulls out another cigarette. What are you reading?
Or antihistamines the same. Is that what's in Benadryl?
Probably. I don't know. I just know Benadryl doesn't work for me, and it's allergy season.
I haven't taken modern medicine since 1902.
Interesting. He just keeps really grinding up these leaves, getting the juices out, and then just like sucking it out.
I go bury myself in the ground and just grow another inch like a carrot.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Remember earlier when he said he gets mad at us for saying stupid shit?
But his is about time.
My stupid shit.
But my stupid shit
was like 2 seconds.
So does mine. If you just let me talk all the time.
I didn't even say it. So, my problem with some of the characters is they give some of them, like, a lot of room to really showcase that we can care about these characters. Like, Merrick immediately comes off as this, he's really passionate about his work, and he really loves, like, the history of it, and explains why he loves it. But then we have, like, them trying to force our love onto Francois, who is just... his only main thing is he's terrified of going back in time, and then Gerard goes, "Don't worry, I'll protect you the entire time," and then Francois fucking dies, and I feel like we're expected to be, like, heartbroken and shit, like, "Oh no, not Francois!"
Francois, he's gonna die to make you be like, "Oh no, this ain't a kid's movie, shit just got real."
He just did a racist thing.
He said, I ain't Frenchman in it.
I had no like attachment to Francois because he showed up and like, oh, this is just the side character who speaks French. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like,
and then he died. And I'm like, oh, that's all right. They're in like the English camp. They don't really need to speak French. And then the one person that's speaking French the whole movie also speaks English. So I think we're fine.
Yeah, like. There was like, he was in the background for part of their arguing in the beginning, and then the only thing he actually contributes is they're like, "Francois, you have to come with us. You speak fluent French," and he's like, "Oui, your father will do it for me, so I shall go."
He said,
"How do you say
like that?"
I just said it. No, I said it first.
No. From my point of view,
the Jedi are evil. I knew it. That one was easy to pick up on.
I've brought peace and prosperity to my new empire.
Your new empire.
Don't make me kill you.
Don't do it.
Don't make me fuck you.
Shout out to Anakin and Obi-Wan fanficking.
What about Michael Sheen being
Michael
the evil
Sheen
British guy?
being the evil
He just
British
shows
guy.
up and he's like, "I'm Michael Sheen,"
and
then
he's like,
"I'm Michael Sheen," and they go, "What do you want?" And he goes, "I'm gonna kill the Frenchman and then order everyone to shoot arrows."
And he doesn't even kill the Frenchman. He makes his other guy.
And he's like, The one that was the funniest for me, he's like, "We're gonna use our secret night arrows. They're a trick, which is just an arrow painted black."
They're just regular fucking arrows, and it's dark out. All right.
He's like,
use the night arrows. Wait,
the whole time
you don't want us to light them?
Sitting there thinking about how cool it'd be if they had a Cadillac.
Okay.
Dude, but the thing is, the night arrows did more.
Forgot.
The night arrows did more damage than the fucking Greek fire did. The Greek fire took out one trebuchet, and Michael Sheen's losing his fucking mind. He's like, "I need 20 million of them."
Well, that was the prototype. That was like the, hey, this is what it could do. Do you want more? If they had gotten the chance to it would have been catastrophic.
Yeah, they just needed the funding. What is?
It seems like a bad time to do it. It's like napalm, like early napalm, essentially.
It's really just like it's fire that can't be extinguished by water. Like the water helps carry. To me, it kind of seemed like fire. That's kind of what it seemed like to me in like an early sense of like the more water you put on it, it's just gonna spread and like carry the flammable substance rather than anything. To me, I don't know, like watered down like sap or something because it also sticks to shit.
Like napalm.
It's something that we can't perfect, but because the Greeks were really secretive about it, so we've reversed engineered it the best we can, but still not like we still can't figure out exactly how they did it. We just have a really close estimate of how it worked.
Yeah, there was something else. It was going to be game changing when I brought it up.
Wikipedia defines Greek fire.
Fire in Greek households.
Though most modern scholars agree it was based on petroleum mixed with resins, comparable in composition to modern napalm.
Look at that. So what game-changing thing were you going to talk about, Marshall?
No, I think there should have been a Cadillac.
That's good. That's a good Army of Darkness reference.
I've never seen Army of Darkness. This was just a completely original plot.
No, you heard the whole plot through that episode of Scare by Scare we showed you, remember?
And that's why this episode is 6 hours
But that's
long.
in Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is France?
Marshall lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I lost my leg in France.
Oh.
And then I found it later at Castle Guard, which is a castle.
That guard's shit.
Well, Castle Guard doesn't actually exist, but
no.
The question was going to ask. No. I go. Stop. Everyone, shut up. Professor Lupin is like just evil for evil's sake. I feel like. Like, does that just seem weird? Like, he's like, no, we got him. He's like trying to like flee, but like, dude, just like let him try to come back. If not, then you're fine. Like, he kills a guy, try to shut it down. Like, I don't know why he's so set on not bringing them back.
I mean, the only thing
because they try to kill a guy or whatever, you know, like in it, like assassinate a dude.
The only thing I can think about that is that he's really set on like making his mark on history, so he's really prideful about it. And if whatever company or anything that they're working with finds out what they did, and like, you know, if people come back all fucked up or anything, and it's an imperfected science, that he's then not going to be recognized for an amazing discovery, and that's really kind of it. So he doesn't really have.
I don't know. He just seems.
He doesn't have a lot of.
It seems weird because it felt like they were trying to do like there was some like secret plot like behind everything, and then like Deckard, whatever his name was, Descartes, was like, oh yeah, they sent people back multiple times. They just couldn't figure it out, and I'm like, that's it. And you decided to stay, and they sent some guy back to kill you because you were just gonna stay.
Like,
is that the whole deal?
It would have been a better story if they were, for whatever reason, trying to alter history by sending people back, but. Like, they do just
Assassin's
like
Creed.
Yeah, but instead he goes this whole big spiel about why you guys should go back, and then they all leave, and his assistant goes, "That was a good speech. I almost believed you." And I'm like, "Oh, there's some sinister plot going on here." And he's like, "We should kill this guy that we sent back, and he's gonna be the main antagonist there for these guys." Okay, cool. And he's like, "Yeah. He didn't bring me back, and I'm pretty pissed off about that." But when he's dying, he's like, "I want to go home, actually."
It's scary.
I don't like that I'm dying.
Why did they should have just copied an Assassin's Creed plotline or something.
Yeah.
You know? Imagine timeline, but there's Edward Kenway, and he's on his ship, and they're all singing sea shanties, and they're going around.
Sounds like you just want to watch a pirate movie.
In the background, you see Castle Guard getting like fired at and everything, but Edward's just like hearing sea shanties and pulling out like 17 pistols to shoot people.
He's only got 4.
Yeah, but it's funnier if he just keeps finding new ones. And he's like, bam, 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 bam,
Blackbeard have,
bam.
like,
Wait,
8 guns
He
across his
had like a
chest?
bandolier
Yeah.
of like 4 on this side, 4 on this side, 4 strapped to his back, and I think he had a couple of blunderbusses in the back, and he just went, fa-boom.
You remember that? You ever seen that gif of Gandalf when he's trying to leave the Tower of Isengard, and he goes to leave, and Saruman shuts the door, and then he goes to leave, and
Oh, he
Saruman
shuts the door,
like
and then
that.
he just keeps shutting
He
doors.
shuts the door.
Yeah.
It's like that, but Edward Kenway pulls his gun, shoots someone. Edward Kenway pulls his gun. It pulls
He
his
just
gun,
keeps
it
having
pulls
guns.
His gun, it just keeps going.
No one knows where it's coming from, but he has a million pistols.
Hold on. Let me...
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Jobe was gonna start cooking and then discovered he was actually gonna do something really fucking stupid and shitty.
No,
And had
I was
self-control
gonna
for once in his life.
again, but then I was like, I can't. I'm too giggly.
can't, I'll die.
You can't
Jobe was
giggle
about
while
to start
doing
cooking, and then realized the first step in his recipe was throw a bunch of ice cubes in the deep fry, and realized maybe this isn't a great idea.
He has him in his hands. I could alter history right now. I don't know what the future can hold. Don't stab my dog with a... Oh, you've deflated her. There's so
So
much air in there.
do you think
Let me tell you
Eric ever
something.
learned French, or did he just like say "fuck it"? You know English. I know you do.
I think Merrick. Look, the movie writing is pretty bad, but the character of Merrick, I think, is respectful and honorable enough that I think he definitely learned French to fit in with the woman that he loved.
So while they're boning, he can go "oui, oui, mademoiselle."
Yeah,
and baguette, baguette.
Mi amor and whatnot.
Do you think Merrick's rule over the region was directly responsible for the oppression of the minorities in France, which led to the French Revolution?
It wasn't
Okay.
the minority; it was the majority that was pissed.
Also, he
I
didn't
guess
live, he
the
didn't
poor
live long
people.
enough for that.
But
He died like 20
it's,
years later.
It's history. So he happened, and then French Revolution happened at some point. He
Right.
directly led to it, right? 'Cause he's like, "Hey guys, what about democracy?" And they looked at him and they said, "Shut the fuck up, you communists." And he's like, "All right, what if we just push down the poor people?" And they said, "Yeah, you married rich, you understand."
Yeah, he's got it locked in.
Yes, Joe.
So in the cyberpunk future, you can get an implant that's just a metal tube instead of your urethra to protect your structural power of your.
I'm gonna cut that out.
Okay.
I have a question. If you're
What's
a
up?
time traveler and you get stuck in the past, what is like the one thing that you could like introduce based on your knowledge right now that would make like technology advance by like a couple hundred years? You know, like you can't obviously like, oh, this is a cell phone because you don't know any idea how a cell phone works. But like, I don't know. I feel like they could come up with like something good, you know, maybe.
I think I would introduce the concept of structural integrity, particularly in a tube setting. So if you could like somehow
No.
I would just go back in time and show him Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray.
Are we implying that like we're not going back to 1357, but before whatever we could think of is invented?
He's gonna introduce crop
Like,
rotation.
let's just say medieval time, generic, somewhere in that year span. If that makes sense.
I'd probably go back and bring up the heliocentric theory, like 100 years early.
No,
I think you
telling
might
time.
have. You could be burned at this. They told time fucking forever ago.
Yeah,
Like,
but they were wrong about it for a long time.
I would go back in time and show them the RKO.
Okay, I'd go back in time.
That could work.
I'd go back in time and start singing "Johnny Be Good" but
your cousin Marvin Berry,
and that's just happening as its own standalone dialogue because I'm doing this in 800 BC.
You know that new sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this.
And then he holds up a rock because phones haven't been invented yet.
No, he's holding up an urn.
No, I'll go back and I'm gonna teach everybody D&D. Like, all right, imagine the world we're in right now, but magic's there too. And then they're like, sorcerer, and I went, exactly. That's the class you'll play.
The dragons are the same.
Yeah, because those existed.
So I think what I'm getting at is overall a 5 out of 10.
I would also probably just start telling them about random shit that I know about in other countries. That way I'm like, hey, so there's this thing that has really long legs and they're big and beefy, and they have like somewhat smaller arms, and then they have a little pouch that has a smaller version of them
Americans.
Inside. Okay. I just start telling them about random shit from across the seas and be like, yeah, kangaroos exist. There's a big fucking lizard over in Australia. What's that? Don't worry about it. It's where you're going to send all your criminals in like 600 years.
I would tell them all about spaghetti.
The inventor. You would
The
become
Adventures of
John.
Spaghetti.
You'd become John Spaghetti.
I am
It would
John
be
Spaghetti.
It would be like the Beethoven.
Yeah, I have to call myself John Spaghetti so the timeline doesn't get altered too much. And it's called
They learn about
Spaghetti.
kids are learning about John Spaghetti.
You would become the Beethoven
This
paradox.
is the magical
Wait.
man who
cut
spreads
out
spaghetti to
the
lanes.
spaghetti bit. I don't know if that doxes me.
What, a spaghetti?
Sure.
I didn't hear what you said if you doxed yourself.
Well, then
I
I
said
guess
John Spaghetti.
Yeah. So, Marshall, I guess up to your
Arms are heavy.
discretion.
There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he's calm and ready.
Spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti. So yeah, for me, for my taste, this movie is a 5 out of 10. And now you go.
Who's you?
Whichever one of yous.
No, you have to pick. It's your birthday.
Marshall!
Yeah? I'm giving it a 5 too.
5.2.
5.5555.
I'm gonna give it a 6 because I just like time travel, even when it's done in a shitty way.
I do like time travel movies that like show at the beginning like whatever they did in the past has already affected it.
Yeah.
Even before like they've gone back. I think that's always cool. But like this one was like super obvious and not like hidden. It's like this guy's got an ear missing. Huh. And then he loses his ear. It's me! You're like, obviously you didn't have to fucking say it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, Joe.
You guys remember that scene in The Green Hornet with Seth
I haven't seen the Green
Rogen?
Hornet.
Where Kato does this to the beer and the caps go whizzing off?
Okay. No.
Yeah, dude, Green Hornet kicks ass. If you don't like the Green Hornet movie, you are a poser.
I've never seen it.
I have decided.
Anyway, tune in next week.
No, this is the one thing I have.
What? Oh, right.
Because Jobe's pick next week is The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. You know, him from, follow us.
But where can they catch that next movie, Marshall?
On Spotify at Filmbless Pod or anywhere you watch podcasts. Also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook if you really, 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 really want.
Do we have?
And that's
What do we have?
yeah. Our social media manager has been really dropping the ball lately.
I never signed up for
Yeah,
this.
mainly because we don't actually know who it is. I don't think we ever
It's
discussed.
Joe. It's Joe. Remember when Joe said, "Oh yeah, send me clips and I'll post them."
I'm just glad I
Or
don't have it.
hey, I
never
can
did.
get the clips from Trace.
I'm just glad that I don't have a
Well, you
definitive
can
role.
get clips from Trace.
I'm just the talent, and not a lot of it.
Yeah, I pat your head. You're the talent, bud. Well, we'll see you next week, Jabronacrons, while we sort out our business plan. Bye.
If I could turn back time.